Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the PR Community live interview / Q&A. And I'm here today with Mark Robinson. Hi Mark.
Hey, how are we?
Good, thank you. For everyone who's watching live, please make sure you send us some love, put some comments below and just say, that you're here with us. If you have any questions, post them below. If we don't answer them during this Q&A, we are more than happy to do it afterwards. Mark, you're already known in the community, but for all the new members, because we have quite a few new members, share a little bit, like in a couple of sentences, who are you and why are you here?
How's a creator meant to do that in 2 sentences, right? Hey, so guys, I'm Mark Robinson. I run the International Academy of Wealth, of which Paulina is not only a lifetime member, but also recently become a shareholder as well. So just to put that out there, yeah? So we help people build wealth, and we've done it in a way to help you build your perfect portfolio, which we're not here to talk about today. We're here to talk about building businesses and struggling to put it online, right? How to put your business online. And I know that Pauline is going to push a couple of my buttons about that because she's the one that really did drag me really kicking and screaming to put our business predominantly online. Is that a good way to start this conversation, right?
Yeah, totally. And I love it because you're being honest here, right?
Like, 100%.
So for everyone, a little bit of context, Mark has been presenting for years on stage. So in person, on stage, all his workshops, all his lead-in sales come through in-person events. Well, when COVID hit, you all know me, I'm like, Mark, we should go online. And let's talk about like the last 12 months, because you've been struggling to go online over the last 12 months, right?
Yeah, look, when COVID hit in March last year, we did the 4 weeks to wealth, which was 4 weeks online. That was the only way to do it. It felt, I threw it out there. We did it. I had an amazing response from our experts. I think we did like 50 plus sessions online and what have you. But from a business perspective, there was no sales in reality from it, right? And I'll admit I was probably quite angry back then. So if you go back and have a look at my posts, I hated the world. You can all get effed, you know what I mean? And Billy and I actually literally, and not a lot of people know this team, but Billy and I were thinking about closing down IAW and just living on an island and living happily ever after, right?
Well, I'm glad you didn't do that.
Look, so are we, right? I mean, I put on 10 kilos in those first couple of weeks of COVID, and I look back and I go, well, you got 2 options, Robinson. You can keep being angry with the world, or you can make a difference, right? And that's what we did. So we got back into shape. We started meditating again and just doing the right things internally so that we can then serve more people externally. And that's when I still was getting angry, right? I was still going, open doors, let me bloody present. It's the only way I can make sales and help people if I just get on stage.
So fast forward 12 months, let's just go about like 2 or 3 months ago. Let's talk about the event you've just run, which was highly successful at the end. But I remember 2 or 3 months ago, we did an online event, and straight afterwards you were like, that's it, I'm no longer doing online events. And I'm like, why? We've got an international community. Tell us a little bit more about that thought process and what was going on in your head.
Yeah, well, if we let's go back to even 9 months, right? When we have our base camps, right? And we had to do our first base camp online, and it felt okay, right? It was, it's not there was no bears and hugs and all that sort of stuff being online. That's the part we truly do miss. But it was okay. The community supported it. It worked. We got the experts in and stuff. And then November, we did the same thing, and March as well. We've had 3 base camps online. And there's been no drop in value from our perspective, delivering what we promised. So every time we did it, I got more and more comfortable about, what, if this is the world we live in, then let's just be here, right? Be 100% okay with it. So the event that you're talking about, I got invited to by yourself. You opened a couple of doors, well, one big one really, and you put me in front of a longtime mentor of mine, Roger Hamilton. And what I love is the minute he saw our process and what we did it, his brain just went into overdrive, got what it was about. And, don't tell him, but he made a few of the things that we do even better, right?
Yes. So the last event that we like talking about, it was the Investor 5.0 Micro School, right? It was part of a bigger program that Roger put on, right? And everyone knows I'm part of that team supporting him in those events. So let's talk about what, just for everyone so that they know, we started off with a challenge. So we did a 5-day challenge where every mentor had an hour in the 5 days where they could present, show themselves, and it was like a live Q&A style with Roger. The key to that challenge was that everyone had to do something in the end to win a prize, and the prizes, there was 3 prizes, and we were worth over 50,000 US, so they were quite high prices for people to go through that week, right? But what it did for you was people got to know you.
Yeah, and I think what you've got to do when you go online is still be yourself, right? Like I think what people loved about what I did is, I give you guys 100% all the time. I'm not distracted by emails or, when we have a coaching call, I'm present. Yeah. So the way that they were going to do it was, a live event and then do the recording in the morning, remember, so. Yeah. And I couldn't handle that, right? I just went, there's no way could I do that, right? So I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning for Pauline, because that was your session as well. And I was just going, you know what? I'm not going to have Paulina sit there, listening to a recording of me. So we so I got up and I think that was something that really showed people was, the integrity that we have as a community. And me, if I'm going to have a live event online, it has to be live. And it really showed. And I think, from a community perspective, people got that, and instantly, we from a business perspective, we drove more sales, It's not about the sales for us from a community perspective, but this is a business community that we're talking to. So you think about it from a sales perspective, I truly believe that's why we were one of the top, if not the top, from a sales perspective during the micro school and still now.
Yeah, so so for people, we started off with a 5-day challenge, but challenge sold into a 4-week micro school. So that 4-week micro school had experts in their fields. It was all about investing. It was like really well themed and positioned. So everyone who wanted to learn about investing jumped into the 4-week course, which Mark was the first week of. And then at the end, there was 2 days of a summit that Roger ran, the Investor Global Impact Investor Summit. It was a 2-day event where he brought not only the 3 mentors, but also a whole heap of other mentors together to share his top 10 waves on investing in the 21st century, or in the next 10 years, the decade. So Mark, you did an hour in the challenge, you did a week in the micro school, and then you showed up in the summit. Let's talk about, yes, you're absolutely right. You showed up live, which was amazing, because the people appreciated not just listening to a facilitated recording, as much as amazing as I am as a facilitator, but they were there to listen to you, right, and hear you. And tell us a little bit about how did your life change doing an online event that was so audience driven and so clear in what the delivery was? Like, what did it do for you in your business?
Yeah, look, it's we were talking about numbers earlier, right? And I threw a number out, which probably wasn't far wrong, to be brutally honest about that, right? So we've always had a no dickhead policy in our community. Like, just because you've got a credit card and a pulse doesn't mean you're going to get in, and that's never going to change, right? And we've already had a couple of people that we've kicked out. we had a gut, you should always listen to your gut, right?
You should, shouldn't you, Mark?
You should, right? And look, there's this couple, and one of them's actually reached out already and said, I now know what you do. Can I have another phone call with you? And I'm just not going to happen, right? You've shown your true colors. It's too late. So they're out. Because we want to protect the integrity of our community. And, when we go back to live events, right, we want to hang around with like-minded people. You don't want to be in a room of dickheads. So we have literally, I would say we would be close to, with your help, we're probably at around 300% increase in turnover. Right. So it's changed.
So you're talking here annual turnover, right?
Annual turnover, correct. Not monthly turnover, team. Paulina has helped us 300%, and we're not finished. I've still got about 70 people to interview, right? So that I haven't even updated the figures from the conversations from last night. So, and normally I put clear eyes in, guys. So if you ever look how red my eyes are, right? I normally do hide it. I am a tad tired at the moment, but a good tired. Like I feel energized. I'm having a couple of days off shortly, but and that's what you've got to do, which we could talk about. I mean, you've got some cool people who are now part of our community, Steve and Heidi. Like I want to have a conversation with them shortly to just keep this momentum going. So in terms of life changing, it has been phenomenal, right? Like we're already talking about, which I didn't want to, right? But Pauline, I'm pretty sure in the back of her mind going, you're going to, Mark, whether you want to think it or not, right? So we are looking at duplicating me. We are looking at having Mark Robinson. And I've realized that what we do, right, the main part of what we do can be duplicated. So we're already going for that high tech, high touch that Roger talks about. We've actually got your amazing husband who's coming on board.
You're stealing him off me.
I know, right? We can't have him under your thumb all the time, right? We've got to let loose the Kraken. So Tyrell's coming on as our onboarding person to just help with that. Hey, this is how big our community is. And once you have a call with Mark, you'll realize what you actually get more specific in it. So yeah, look, the numbers are hilarious. Right, hilariously good.
Okay, thank you. I was like, hilarious, really? Yes. So, like, what's next? Do you think you're going to do another online event?
Yeah. Look, well, we trialed a hybrid.
That's a yes or no answer, Mark. Are you going to go to another online event?
Look, if you're not, okay. So that's what it's about. If you're not going online, you're an idiot. In the end, it's like, you know me, I don't pull punches. You're an absolute idiot if you don't go online. If you think that you can't, then hire Pauline. Like I'll shamelessly plug you, Paulina. Like freaking hire her, you crazy bastards.
I did not pay him to say that.
Oh, no way, right? But think about it. Like, did I know how to properly facilitate my own stuff online? Look, I'm a damn good host. That's our model, right? I bring in experts in property and shares and crypto and Forex and all that sort of cool stuff. And I'm a host, but sometimes you got to think about it. When you can't be the host of your own show, right? As far as I'm, like that's where Paulina's skill set comes in. And like, I don't know if the recordings are available or not, but when you watch the way that Paulina, just her skill set of directing traffic online so that the right points come in, like that's what you're looking for. So, and quite often you don't know what you know, right? And when you have Paulina in your corner and she knows your audience, and stuff, she'll tell you what, like, without being brutally what's the right way to say it? Without people knowing, right? Like that's why she's in the background. She knows what you should be saying, and therefore the questions come out of your head, and all of a sudden when your message is in front of the right people at the right time, then 300% annual turnovers can happen in a week.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing. Like
A
you're,
month, really. I was being, it literally has been a month though.
yeah,
It's crazy.
you've done this in a month, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think the key thing as well is, and I didn't even, you just said this and I didn't even think of this, but the key is to know your audience, and you know your audience better than anyone else, but you're also in your head going, I need to present all these things, right? While when I'm sitting in the background, or anyone in my team is sitting in the background, we're just listening and tuning into the customers. So while you are providing the content and giving the value, we're just listening in to going, okay, is the audience getting what they need? And if they don't, we just stir you into the direction so that everyone gets the answers that they want to do, right?
Yeah.
And the job as well, from like my team's job, is to make people shine, so that you can just show up. Like, you've got no idea how customers were communicated to, how they've been registering, how they knew to show up at the right time at the right place, right? You just showed up and gone, oh my God, all these people are here.
Yeah, literally, like literally that's how it happened. And I'm not saying that it could happen that way for everybody. Like, there's a lot of hard work involved. Like, be honest with us, Paulina, how many hours a week were you doing yourself, like, to make it work for everybody?
Oh yeah, and yeah, when a micro school goes live, it's an intensive program for
Yeah.
everyone, my whole team and myself, right? Like the summit itself, I was on Zoom for like in 2 days. I was on Zoom for 30 hours, just to
Yeah.
give you guys an idea. So out of 48 hours, I was live 30, right? So, and that's just me, not even like talking about the team. So yeah, it does get challenging, but the rewards are huge, right? Like, if I can go and say, every one of the mentors, and even like Roger, right? Like, if you guys get those results and you get 300% turnover in a month, then it's worthwhile for me to get, and my team to get up, right? That's why we do what we do. But it is like, and I think the key thing is that we, in the Zoom world, people go, oh, this is easy. I'll just turn on Zoom, let people know to come into that Zoom room, and then everything will go from there. But I'm like, there's so much more to what, like, just playing record on Zoom doesn't work for a big event where you want to make hundreds of $1,000s worth of revenue. You do need to have the team behind it to make sure that it's recorded, that it is like, that it's engaging, that people are in the chat getting the answers that they need, right? All these things that no one actually considers up front.
And you can't do it yourself. Like, I look at, like, I love those breakout rooms now. I now know why they're there. Like, you should kick your audience out of the main room, go talk to each other. Like, people want human contact.
Yeah.
And if you guys didn't facilitate that in such an amazing way, like getting them out of the, like, we want to talk to each other. We don't want to listen to someone for freaking 8 hours, right? You want to be able to get out and talk. So when you guys just understood the energy through the conversations. Like, I don't have time to look at the chat, right? If I'm here delivering you, some content. So having that, and then you coming in and going, right, I'm going to kick everybody out. You're going to 5 minutes in a break room. What's your biggest takeaway so far? And that gives me a break as well to go, was I saying the right things and stuff? And then when everybody's out, you tell me whether I was or not.
It's like, you need to still do this.
And look, here's a little bit, like, this is literally behind the scenes stuff, right? This is what happens in a successful campaign, in a successful Zoom. You have these little key secrets that nobody sees. Like, there's a reason why you're getting kicked out into a Zoom room, is because you've got to talk to someone, right? You're going batshit crazy. You've probably just checked your phone for the last 15 minutes on something else or an email. We know, like, we get this because Paulina's skill set is to see what's happening in the Zoom and the chats. And if there's not enough chats or comments coming through, man, we're going to kick you out and go talk. Like, humans love to talk, right? We want, and if this is it, if this is the only way we can tap right now, we still want to have a voice.
Absolutely. But there's like a few things that go into play. The breakout rooms are a really big one. You're right. People want to share their stories. People do business with people. So they want to connect
Yeah.
with you. And quite often, like you in the breakout room, you get, a couple of minutes of a break, and then you just jump from room to room to show your face with a smaller group. So you need to be seen as, I can't remember, I want to say attainable, but it's more like seen as a real human being that, you can have a conversation with, because that is more important than ever on Zoom, that you do this. But also, like you said, people drift away. They don't listen to everything. So you need to make sure you have the right gamification plan in place, right? How do you encourage people? And in your week, we've done like such a good job. Like we had everything going from throwing out Ethereum to giving impacts to books to, like we had so many cool things going on, but people stayed engaged the whole time. And the other thing as well that needs to be considered when you do an event is we used to go to a conference to be inspirational. Now we are going into a Zoom room to get instant gratification. So how can I take action straight away to say that hour, that day, whatever it is, has been worthwhile my time? And that is a skill set that, Mark, you needed. You do really well, but it's like, okay, what action are we taking, getting our customers to take right now, to make sure that they leave here going, oh, I already got started. Like, I'm now an investor. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that's a good point, right? I mean, years ago, I knew this, there was a saying, and I've really, it's probably rings true now more than any time, which is, don't be afraid to give away something that you haven't received yet, right? So years and years ago, I used to be so protective of everything I created, whereas now, it's all, if you're going to truly succeed in this world, you need to collaborate with people that you might perceive as the enemy. Yeah. Like collaborate. Like, I think it blew people away when I'm on stage. And if you think about it, we were all there to make sales team, right? That's the bottom line. And what happened was, I was out there going, you should talk to Simon if you're on property, or, talk to Marcus if you want to learn how to trade crypto, and yada, yada, yada. And I think that threw a lot of the other experts out, right? And they were going, like, hang on a minute, what's this dude? Isn't he trying to sell and make as much money as possible? The only way I make money is if I've got access to bloody experts in their field, right? And my expertise is getting you guys to get clarity and the confidence around making financial decisions. So what I mean by that is the give away your content. Like, seriously, give away the good shit, because if they truly want you, they'll pay for you. Right. And that's why I'm not going to change the way I do business. You will still get access to me when you need me. Right. That's how my brain works. You don't need me for an hour though. Right. You need me for sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I've got that time for when you need it. So, like we're starting to build our stuff for, I can give away our whole crypto campus right now if we wanted to. Right? I can just now grab a link and send it to you. And whereas before I'd go, no way, that's worth $5,000. I look at it and go, here it is. Holy crap. If Mark gives away that, geez, he must have some really good stuff if I pay for it.
Absolutely. And
which is true, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm a lifetime member and now a shareholder, so I definitely believe in your product and I think it's amazing. But yes, so gamification is a big one, especially in the world of recordings. So too easily, and I think we all catch business that we like sign up for a online event, and then we go, oh, it's okay if we don't show up, there will be a recording, right? That's a detriment of any sale. It's just like, if you do that, you've already lost your customer. If the customer goes, I'll watch it later, 90% of the chance they don't watch it. No. So there is a reason why people like Tony Robbins don't record their events. There is a reason why they go and say you need to show up live. If you do decide to do a recording like we did of the micro school, you need to make sure that you have a gamification plan in place to show up live. Otherwise, you'll lose your audience along the way. And we did it well. You kept the whole audience active, actually for all 4 weeks. Like we kept the audience captive the whole time by having the right gamification plan in place. And if you think about it, a 4-week micro school is a lifetime, online. 4 weeks online is a lifetime in any other world. And everyone kept showing up live because they wanted those giveaways. They wanted the book, the crypto club, the, like the crypto campus.
And real money, right?
And
like
real money.
In live events, I like giving away silver. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice silver coin.
I can't wait to collect my 500 coins which you're owing me by now.
The funny thing is, there's probably about 20 in there, and I think they belong to our members and you in New Zealand, right? So I'll bring it with me.
Yeah, totally.
But we were giving away real Ethereum, and I had no idea whether I was going to make a sale or not, right? I had the confidence in myself that we were going to have new members join us, but I didn't know, right? I didn't know the full audience and stuff. And so, we're more than happy. We were giving away $100 worth of Ethereum. And what made me, what I love the most is the one that I gave away in the first week was worth about $170 by the time we actually finished the whole micro school, right?
Yes, that was perfect timing, right? Synchronicities. But okay, I know you need to go, so let's just summarize. You've made 300% of your annual turnover in 1 month. Month.
Yeah.
Cool. You have decided that it is worthwhile to have a team around you who know how the world of online works. Yeah. You're going to do another event? Online?
100%. There's we are trialing the hybrid ones I didn't talk about. We actually had pretty good success with the hybrid one. We know what we need to do better right now. But I can tell you what right now, guys, if you're tossing up between going live or online is way cheaper, which allows you to give away even more. But definitely get the team in place, get the process in place, gamify it like Paulina said. Save yourself a lot of time and hassle. And I know this wasn't meant to be a sales pitch for you, Paulina, but
no, it wasn't.
And I'm doing so well, I'm not swearing, and I nearly swore again, right? So just effing bloody talk to Paulina and get her on your team, like end of story, right?
Thank you.
But don't go hybrid. Don't think that you're good enough yet to go hybrid, because it is a lot more painful than what you may think. Like we're going to have to go hybrid on a number of our member events, and that's okay. But either go live or go Zoom. And if I were you guys right now, with the way the world is, right, go Zoom. So we were going to do a live event in Japan with me zooming in. And all it took was just one person sneezing, and no one wanted to leave their house. So we just instantly made the decision to go Zoom only, and we will Zoom only in other areas of the world, except for where we can go live, like here in Australia on a few events and in New Zealand, right? So Zoom it, just do it, but make it, I don't know.
You miss everyone. If you don't go online these days, you're missing out on opportunities. And 100%. I have few other clients I'm going to interview, but also like other people who have been running events, just to give you guys an idea of what it actually means. But thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate the plugin, even though I didn't pay for it and didn't expect it. If anyone wants to have a chat with me, by all means, DM me or send me a message. Would love to have the conversation of how to get you online. And
but
Mark,
surely we have to practice what we preach, right?
In what regards?
Well, how about?
I feel like I'm being set up.
Well, how about whoever says the best takeaway from this session, right? We'll send them $100 worth of Ethereum.
Oh, nice. I like it. Okay.
We've got to practice what we preach, yeah? We've got to gamify it. But we should have done better, right? What we should have done is at the start of it, we should have said, hey, if you listen to the end.
Absolutely. So this is how an interview suddenly gets gamified. I like it. So for your biggest takeaway, actually, I want to go a little bit further. For your biggest takeaway and the next action you're going to take.
Perfect. Yep.
Right. Put it down below. Tell us both takeaways and the next step you're going to take. Yep. And then there will be 100. What, US, Australian? Let's just clarify.
I'm in Australia, but here's the weird thing, right? the where my Ethereum is, I can only send a minimum amount, so it'll probably end up being about $120 all up, right?
Okay,
Australian.
nice. Australian. All right. So comment below, and then Mark and I will come back in a few days and pick the winner out of what are your biggest takeaway and what next steps are you going to take. Yeah,
correct.
Actions. All right, Mark. I know you have to go. Thank you so much, and see you guys later.
See you, matey.